check. All right, I see that is working. Let's do some Tai Chi. Actually, let's adjust the lights just a little bit. Now do some Tai Chi. All right, welcome. Let's start in Tai Chi Harmony. Allow your feet to touch. Pull your head top up or push your head top up. Relax your shoulders, relax your hips. Take a deep breath, reach all the way out, relaxed. Let the base of the palms touch first. Connect the tongue to the upper palate. While you're breathing, lift the base, grip your toes. And we'll do a calibration. So relax your brow, open your vision. When you're breathing, pull your nostrils sideways. Feel like you can expand the sinuses behind the front of your face. Activate the corners of the mouth for a half smile. Minimum, you can smile more than that if you like. Connect the tongue to the upper palate and put it somewhere behind the front teeth and all the way up there. Keep the chin tucked. Make your neck straight, but it still has the arch. There's an arc in the neck there. So the power is there, but it's relaxed. Hollow the chest. Leave a space in your armpit. Feel that the insides of your elbows are relaxed. Can you relax your wrists, hands, and fingers? Use your center to support. Unroll your back and allow it to expand. Feel that the tailbone is like an anchor pulling directly down to the ground. Relax the insides of your hips. Your knees are bent, we don't want them straight. Flex your ankles. Pull your heel in. Use the outside edge of your foot and pull that in. Gripping or driving down, use the toes and activate the top of the foot. And I haven't used this analogy for some time. Somebody asked me the other day, and I said in Westwood, I used to teach like your foot is like a suction cup or a plunger, and I would do this sort of walk cycle, like with my feet stuck to the ground. But same thing. Activate the foot like you're pulling, like it's a suction cup, and you can feel the rim around the base of it. Take a deep breath, relax. Let's start with some Qigong. So breathing, on this one normally we just reach up, but on this first one we're going to expand to open, like you have a circle and you want to draw the biggest circle that you can. And for the base one, we're just going to go right at waist level, so we don't have to change our structure too much. You can sink your knees. So the same thing, like you have a big circle or half circle, and you're going to bring it back to the center, going up, and then keep your elbows apart and reaching. And bring it back to the center. For people that are experienced, you can sink all the way, make your half circle down here, bring this up, you can make the breathing match the movement, but you can also take more than one breath per movement. So we're using this for our opening Qigong and also a stretch. We've just got done calibrating in Tai Chi Harmony. So while you're practicing this, see how many Tai Chi ideas you can maintain. Can you keep at least your neck straight? Can you keep your toes activated? The purpose of all of these individual ideas is to combine for one idea. You can forget all of the details Use your whole body to do the Qigong at once. Let everything relax. Put your mind into the Dantian. Feel the movement from the center. Do a few just relaxed, right at the waist, without arching the back so much. Do one more, and when you finish, bring everything back to the center. Allow your feet to connect. Pull the head top up. Bring the hands together in the center. Take a deep breath, relax. Before we get started, welcome for people just joining. Before we get started going too much further, I want to show something that my teacher showed me, an exercise. My teacher studied with a lot of different teachers. TC would travel to Asia once a year, every other year, something like this. And he would meet with a lot of profound teachers. And one exercise he showed me, I've had problems with a knee in the past and recovering from knee injury, and at this particular juncture I wasn't having any problems, and he was teaching someone else in the park, and my teacher never got down on the ground very much, but he did for this one. So you don't have to do this, but if you have a place where you can get down on the ground, you can see my feet pretty clearly. Keep your legs together. And I'll move a little bit so you can see better. And keep your heels together. So on this one, you may have seen kids doing this one. Can you hear my feet? So almost like windshield wipers. So if your heels are lined up and you're doing this, you can watch your legs. So doing this exercise, right? And I said to my teacher, I said, how does this help your knee? And he said, well, you see, when it's in a straight line, the tendons that go around the knee, if we have a cross section this way, the tendons that are on the outside surface this way, when you roll them like that, it puts them back into place, right? It puts them, helps them align, and that motion puts the bones into place. And I thought about it, and I said, this is incredibly profound teaching, because you can see children doing this. I remember as a child, if you sit getting bored, you can do this with your feet. And I said, where did you learn this? And he said, old people. So the reason that we were talking about doing the leg exercise and bouncing this is what happens. Let's do an exercise while we talk. We'll start with some Jinji Duli and X stepping. So what happens when you get old? What happens when you learn Tai Chi? What happens when you attain mastery? Will you stay the way that you are now? Jinji Duli, 4 corners. return back to the center. The point is, the Tai Chi process continues. And so not everyone will study with me forever. There's a point where everybody passes. So even the high-level master, the very old person studied Tai Chi all their life, can look at a child to learn, right? Even a master that leaves the teacher and moves into the woods to live by themselves, they look at the insect, they look at the animal, and they study to learn. So my goal, my process for this class is the very basic, to build in the Tai Chi ideas. Later, you'll study with another teacher who's more profound. So in the meantime, we can learn from old people, we can learn from babies, we can learn from the animals. Let's do some warm-up and then practice some Tai Chi. So my warm-up I do from the top down. So reach across, grab your ear, stretching out, breathing deep. And then come back to the center, roll your shoulders back, straighten your neck, and then do the other side. Come back to the center, and then do some head turns. So lock your shoulders into place, and turning. I need to make an adjustment on my computer. And again, the same thing. Try to keep your head and neck straight, pushing up the whole time, like you're reaching with your head top, like if your neck and your head are like an arm, like you want to extend all of that out while turning. All right, come back to the center, doing some shoulder rolls. So with this, as if the movement is coming from the center, don't just turn your arms like this. Get your whole body involved. Check to see that you have a very serious expression. How many here change directions, turning the other way? How many here have children or remember being a child and they have the big crayon, right? And sometimes very focused, and they got the tongue out to the side and they make this crazy expression. Next, turning. Sometimes when we concentrate, sometimes when we focus, we make a strange expression. And that's actually okay. Master Suzuki, in the book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, says, when a frog sees something it doesn't like, it makes a face. Even the frog makes a face. Come back to the center. Relax. So it's natural to have a reaction. That's okay. Grip the ground. Push your tailbone back and away. Relax your spine. Relax your head top. Breathe deep. And see if you can relax everything so that you can feel the blood moving in your back. Grip the ground. Keep yourself rooted to the ground. When you're ready, unroll. Use your abs. Keep your spine out of it. It's just an antenna for the main computer. Breathing. Relax. We're going to do one more of those. You can change it up if you like. If you want to get more of a stretch and less of a qigong, bring your feet together, push your tailbone back and away, and then folding, reaching somewhere behind. You can pull yourself forward. Remember to breathe and straighten your neck and your back. And then when you're ready, grip the ground. Use your abs, don't use your back. Feel your back relax. If you feel tension in your back, it means it's incorrect. Next, let's turn some hip circles. So take a slightly wider than shoulder width stance and turn. Change directions. See if you can make the circle upon which your hips are turning larger. And let's take a break here for just a second. You have a homework assignment. How many of you, when we're doing this, can feel it on the inside of your legs? If that's true, if you can feel that here, your homework assignment is, and you don't have to do this right now, but you have to go onto the ground and put your legs apart and use your hands to start to bring that wider and wider and wider until you can get to a point. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, so don't try to stretch everything out, but take some time. You can surf on your phone while you do it. You need to take the time to stretch that. Let's do one more leg. Shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Push your tailbone back and away. Fold the inside hip. Make sure this knee is lined up. Breathing deep. Keep your neck either straight, pushing forward, or looking all the way up. Look as high as you can. Even rolling the eyes up into the socket. Remember to breathe. It's your stretch. So go as much or as little as you like. Push forward. Take a deep breath. Relax. Let's do the other side. Shoulder width wide. Shoulder width deep. Sink back. Keep everything lined up correctly. Is your tongue still connected to the upper palate? When I asked about your tongue connected to the upper palate, it's the same as making the face. Like we said, the person that's even I don't want to be ageist and discriminate against children. See, right? An adult doing something can make a face, right, when they're writing. So the purpose of learning Tai Chi is when we get into a situation that's unusual, this type of stretch, is we're stretching, right? So it's not a common position for us. And when we get into that unique situation, we start to lose our composure. And so practicing Tai Chi will help us in complicated situations maintain the correct posture, keeping the tongue in the right place, keeping the shoulders relaxed, moving from the center. Let's do some Tai Chi. Before we start, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, something that you're working on? Because my plan is to, let's do the first and second section. And I think last week we were working on something towards the end of the second section, the pull, kick, turn exercise. And I think we need to rewind just a little bit further back to cover a few more postures. So we're working in the second section, if there's no questions. So, by the way, while we're practicing the form, if there's something that you'd like to know about, you can either just make a comment and I will bookmark it, or you can bookmark it, and we'll come back to talk about it. So, starting to the right, bring your head top up, relax your shoulders, sink your tailbone, grip your feet, lift the bottom while you're breathing, keep the tongue connected up there, half smile is the minimum. Opening for commencement. Sink the tailbone, Tai Chi, Chi Chi. While we're here in this posture, we can think about another Tai Chi idea, Tai Chi principle that is in movement, and that is keeping your tailbone at the same height all the time. It's not required, but it's one means of measure, because sometimes we want to change Chin Chi Tu Li, come up, as opposed to Chin Chi Tu Li here, but we can do both. So, as an idea for practice, keep the tailbone sunk and maintain. This will help you cultivate leg strength. Breathing deep, grasp the sparrow's tail. Grip the ground. Step forward, ward off. Breathing, grasp the sparrow's tail, left, right, ward off. Breathe deep, roll back. Join the palms, facing north, press. Separate the hands to push. Look left, glance right, double press. Horizontal split. Hook. Single whip. Turning north, we have split, square step, brush, half circle, roll up, half circle, roll down, turning to the west. This is crane, opening the wings. Play the harp, brush, knee, square step, press. Square step, deep breath, crane, number 2. Play the harp. Brush, knee, press right to the center. Relax your shoulders. Brush, knee. Twist step. Press. Brush, knee. C-step. Press. Holding the moon in the chest. Shift back. Punch. Ban Man Shui. Corner. Parry. Punch. Ban Man Shui number 2. This one goes to the corner, southwest. Lan, west, Shui. Straight ahead. Corner, west, Rufon, Sli, press, press, turning. This is embrace tiger, return to mountain. Bring the right side to the left, T-step, square step to the corner, facing due south, palm press to the center, breathe deep to roll back. Join the palms, press, push, look left, glance right, double press. Split, hook, turn back to look at the moon. Fifth position, cover, going up at an angle. Repulse the monkey. Repulse the monkey number 2. Number 3. Opening to the side. Sherfei. Shoulder bump. This is needle at the bottom of the seat. Santon Bay. Block, punch, kick, square step, lan. Right to the center. Looking forward, head top up, di bu hua. Sheng bu li. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Horizontal split. We're facing north. Hook. Side whip. Cloud hands. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Hook. Stepping square to the corner. Whip. Pat the high horse. If you got a chance to pet a horse, you should have at least a half smile. Reaching, turn to east, scoop, brush, press, brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, straight step, punch. Stepping forward but turning 180, block, punch, kick, square step, lan, shui. This is called zhou hua, left deflect, but everybody calls it bend to bar. Kick, big rollback, da li, embrace tiger, big rollback, da li, step back, embrace tiger, left foot steps behind the right, scoop the moon from the ocean. Two winds going in the ear, step back, pull left, kick left, turn 180, 1, 360, 2, 3, pull right, kick right, block, punch, kick, square step, lan, shui, rufo, si, turning north, return tiger to mountain, block, punch right, punch left, bring the left side back to the right, return to Tai Chi Harmony. All right, congratulations if you survived. That's the first and second section. Let's go through the second section again, a little bit faster this time. Unless somebody has questions, again, feel free to ask as needed. So let's talk about a few of the postures while we work. So when we turn, for turning body, warning palm, what's happening with the hands? So the idea for this one is generally people don't have dreadlocks in our culture. So the concept for this is the first hand that goes up is we want to get it, if this is your head, the hand as close to your head as possible. So like you're running your fingers through your own hair to get as close to your scalp as possible. And the idea is somebody has grabbed the hair. So we want to get like a comb underneath their hands with one, and then the other hand, like an ice cream sandwich coming on top to go here. Because now we have some means to sense their hand. So when we do this T-step, if they're still holding on, this hand can break it free and move it off to the side, while this other hand comes to press, right? So this, but the person maybe is not grabbing, maybe we can sense, maybe they're reaching something. So we want to have this as protection when we turn. So even if you're not doing the scalp hand removal technique from somebody grabbing the hair, right, like cutting off their connection to your head, you can just cover, right? So just like a tiger holding its head like this, right? Hu bao tu, right? Tiger holds head. So one teacher I had, he would say, answer the phone, right? Because you answer the phone, you have this, all of this here. So when we're turning, and we're going to talk about this later in the end of the section, where we have, what does it start? Left side, pull, kick. And then when we turn, I'm covering, because when I come back through this way, I want to have protection, but I want to see, right, in case I get hit. Where were we? Okay, so cover, palm press. So we start facing this direction if we start in Tai Chi Harmony, and we open, we have some kind of commencement. We can go right into Shuansen, turning body, Kanshong, warning palm, 180 turn, press, breathe deep, roll back, press, push, look left, glance right, double press, split, hook, turn back to look at the moon. For this one, you can do it in one step and make it like the ballet posture, but you can make a Bagua hook step, as many as you need. For repulse the monkey, if your hand goes all the way back here, your vision must go all the way back here. You can't look forward. You have to, the hands stay within the vision. I've been seeing this particular one on television recently. So if your hand comes back here, right, TC's variation was more 90 degrees, press, but some like to go all the way from here. What do we do, 5? Sherfei, diagonal flying, shoulder bone, high Bizang, needle at the bottom of the seat, San Tombe, block punch kick, square step, Lan, Shui. These are the same as in the end of the first section. You already know those. Ibu Hua, Sheng Bu, Li, press. These are the same 8 movements that the form starts with. Breathe left, breathe right, double press, split, hook, side move. Cloud hands, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Corner whip, my square is turning west, the base. Pat the high horse, square step, crook step. Turning 90 degrees, facing south. Number 2, turning east, scoop, brush, press, brush knee, C-step, press, brush knee, straight step, punch. Those C-step presses are the same as the first section. The straight step punch changes. Rock step, block punch kick, lan. Shui, so hua is bend the bar. Peel off, kick, big roll back. On this you can take a big step back to make it more dramatic. And you can also add this little forward inch step. Big roll back, add inch step. Scoop the moon from the ocean. Kick, brush. Air feng guan air, 2 winds. Wind ears, step back, pull left, kick left, turning. 1. This is what I talked about with the hands. 2, 3, pull right, kick right, block, punch, kick, square step, lan. Shui, ru feng, just like the end of the first section. Press, press. Breathing deep, return tiger to mountain, block, punch right, punch left, return back to the center.
Brian,
Yeah, go ahead.
what are you doing with your hands in pull right?
Let's actually revisit this topic. We talked about it last week, and I feel like this section is complex enough to talk about again. The one thing I want to talk about is directionality. So, I don't know if this line is showing up. No. I'll have to find some kind of way to mark this. But this little stem of the kicks and punches faces the southwest. It's kind of unusual. So after we have a punch, bend the bar, coming off of this embrace a tiger is directly east-west, this way. My center is here. And then when this foot steps in behind, I'm facing for scoop the moon from the ocean here. And then now this foot steps behind here. So last week we talked about the footwork. This week, the most basic is I have an opponent, right? They're coming towards me like this. They have something in front of them. And as they come in, I'm going to shift to my rear foot to avoid. My right hand is coming out, but it's coming from the inside. I'm not just reaching out. It's making a circle. So from here, just like grasp the sparrow's tail. So as they come towards me, I'm going to shift back. And as I shift back, my hand's making the circle. And then I'm going to make contact and advance almost simultaneously. So you have to imagine somebody stepping in, right, this way. They want to punch or kick, doesn't matter, right? I have to have something to grab onto. As they step towards me, I make a shift, pull their arm and kick their shin. It's the very simple Tai Chi, right? So, where was I? 2 winds in the ear, facing the southwest. I step back, pull kick. The more extended one is when I step back, I pull, I grab a hold of it, I transfer that to my other hand and pull it even further back here, way back here. And then I make this big kick, right? So from a different angle, if I'm going here, when I step back, I grab it, I trade it to this hand and pull. So if this was a person, I don't know if this will work, we can try it. And they're reaching kind of low. They want to aim at my dantian or even my groin, right? The most basic one is if I'm here, I pull this, pull and kick, right? But the more extended one is when I catch their arm, right? When I step back, if I catch their arm here, I'm going to pass it to this other hand so that I can pull it and kick this way, split it. It's a huge split. So if you can get a hold of someone's arm, I'm here, somebody is attacking, I'll do a different direction, right? As they step in, I want to grab it here, cross grab it here, and pull it all the way back to here. So the person, effectively, they get grabbed, cross grabbed and pulled all the way. Is it an effective technique? The first one, very clearly, if you can do it right. The second one is more for the performance, right? In a real self-defense situation, big axe kicks and these kind of flowery things, it's not. It's the dynamic is a little bit different. So we're not using this. But the first one, more realistic. Here, move to the next. Kicks, by the way, if you're boxing, I see somebody's taking a class from the gym, if you have bags there. I had one teacher, not TC, and he said, I use 3 kicks. 1, 2, 3. He said, these are the 3 kicks that I use. So, and he was a practicing martial artist, somebody that was his profession to utilize the technique. Let's continue. What were we talking about? So the hand technique, if I'm here, I can just pull and kick, that's fine, right? Or I can pull, transfer, make these big circles, right? So pull, kick, and then what did we talk about? The hands. If I just turn around like this, I'm going to get hit. So here, I cover first. I'm still watching the opponent. And these hands coming up, this one doesn't have any special hair screening technique, combing technique, but instead, just covering. And you don't have to even touch the head. In fact, TC a lot of times would just very relaxed, like a half circle up there, right? So covering, step once, step twice, because I'm facing the same direction again. And now the same thing. Once I'm planted on this left foot, I can just pull right, kick right, or I can grab that thing, transfer to my other hand, and do something more dynamic.
So the one thing I want to confirm, I think I see it pretty clearly from what you're doing. After you do the wind in the ears, you are basically relaxing both hands. They don't stay in a fist. So if at the end it appears that you have a fist in the right hand, that's because you've done that transfer from one hand.
So I mean, I'm human, and I make mistakes, and sometimes my Tai Chi is sloppy. I practice a different style of Tai Chi more than I practice this one, but I love this form. The idea is for punches are only, first off, they're hollow, and they're only ever solid for the moment of impact. After that, they relax, right? So if we did a punch in slow motion, the same thing with the grip, right? So if this is my target and this is my fist, as it's coming in, it's becoming more solid, right? I'm flexing my fingers outwards towards my thumb, and right at this moment, it's the most solid, and then it can actually compress and relax again as it bounces away, right? So we get this, the idea is that it's like a racquetball, right? If you've ever, tennis ball, right? Westwood has tennis courts. They're very flexible, but then because we have ultimate body control, right at the last second we turn that into a cannonball, and then after it's made the impact, we soften it again, right, to the thing. And the reason for that space in the center is, in feng shui they would say the energy can move, right? So you can get an energy dynamic to form a type of protective thing in front of it. But for the basic level, for your body, your knuckles are some of your most expensive equipment, the most valuable equipment. Your hand is what allows you to impose your will upon the world, right? Take a second right now, wherever you are, and look at your hand, whatever hand that you use as your dominant hand. Tai Chi should make you more ambidextrous. It's look at your hand and marvel. This allows you to control the universe. So we want to protect this. And so that space in the center, if our impact is wrong or our timing is wrong for that hardness, or the opponent has something different than what we expect, we have room for error. And that allows that sort of crushing dynamic to not damage our hands, right? We actually have a lot of presses, pokes, this kind of thing, punches. If you can punch, maybe press. I don't know, Tai Chi technique. Does that answer the question? Did you get?
It does. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So this two winds in the ear are the same thing. And by the way, for some of these, like when we do this corner movement Ban, this is a closed fist, because what I'm doing with this is using it as a post, right? The opponent has grabbed onto it, and I'm making it like a stick. So my hand essentially becomes like this, and as they grab it, I want to be able to push it away. So this becomes something to, it's not a punch, right? We use that tension in the fingers to strengthen the overall strength. The same way we use the gripping your feet makes your whole leg stronger. In this case, when we're pushing against the opponent, gripping these activates all this stuff in the forearms, the tendons there, right? So tendons, not muscles, is what we're looking for. Let's go back to turn, kick, right? So the fancy one, kick, cover, 2, 3. As I'm coming back online this way, my hands making the circles, kick, and then from here, block, punch, kick, facing due west, lan, shui, something like this. Yeah. Let's rewind just a little bit further. So we did Dibouhua earlier in the year or late in 2022, because I remember in the past year talking about fold knees, keeping the back straight, all of that stuff. So I don't want to brush past it if anyone has questions, right? If you wondering details.
I often feel a little strain on the knee, and I noticed today just like tilting the right knee in more, sort of angling the leg in seems to alleviate that, but is that a good idea or not?
Yes, okay, so let's talk about the knees and the folding thereof, because that's the name of this posture, is called fold knees, like downward is the translation. So we got that question. There was another question as well. Go ahead.
The steps that precede that movement, it's C-step, C-step, straight step. Could you review the difference between the straight step and the C-step?
That's later, but yes, we'll do that right after we do Dibouhua, right? Because Dibouhua has lan, shui, Dibouhua, and the other one that you're talking about is brush knee press, brush knee press, brush knee straight step punch, right? So let's do Dibouhua first. We have lan, shui, just like the end of the first section. And we assume, again, that somebody has locked onto the wrist. And you've seen from the application classes, people, so like someone has done grasp the sparrow's tail. And the idea that I had just said about making this arm, I say stiff, but it should be connected to the dantian. So it's like one piece from here through here. Because as they grip onto that, to protect your knees, we use square step. And when I fold, I don't want my front knee to go in front of my front toe, right, this way. So we can keep that as an angle. And this, if you can see this line is the edge of my square, I want my back knee to go 45 degrees this way. So that as I turn, right, you should be able to do this comfortably, right, without using a stick. So, but we don't want the knee to press in Dibouhua. If you're competing and your knee touched the ground, you lose points, maybe disqualified. I'm not a judge. I don't know how to score at that level. We have 10 minutes left. So let's talk about just the knees, just the legs first, because it's the most important. You need to protect your knees. Master Su would say they're the baby joint of the body. So we have the punch, and then from the Dibouhua, I'm turning on my toe, or the ball of the foot. Shekwa, fold the inside of the hip here, so that we can sink the tailbone vertically. This is the movement for the posture, like a squat. So facing forward, Lan Shui, I tilt this knee in, my fist is going straight down, the other hand coming around to prepare for the Hua pry bar to come off. Right, but we don't do the Hua in the Tai Chi form. We just, let's practice.
Brian, would you mind demonstrating that facing the camera one more time? I just
Yes.
want to.
So let's do this. Maybe cranking the lighting up will give some variance in the tone. So Lan, Shui, and now here. I'm keeping this round so that I have this type of round structure that I can drive. My elbow doing the turning, I'm looking forward and up and then changing this way, right? So Lan, Shui, looking forward.
So in this angle, and maybe it's a camera thing, it looks like your thighs are parallel to one another. But from that diagram that you gave, your right knee is actually bending in
I'm
more.
folding this, right? So if this camera tends to
Widen out.
things further in the back. So I don't know if I can step forward. Maybe if I pull this. They're not parallel. I'm actually closing this.
Okay.
So one thing that I'm always trying to teach is that your hip and your toe, right, like this line is in the practice that we do is always lined up, right? So no matter which way I turn, and in this particular case, my square step is facing forward. Even though I'm using my toe, the heel, knee, and hip complex is all in line. So this is, once you understand this idea, you won't have knee problems ever again. Because the danger is when this goes in front like this. See now, the tendons here are stressed. Another danger is this. A minute ago I saw myself on camera. Should be lined up this way, directly. If I have my square here, this should be lined up here. It should not pop out to the side. That's incorrect. And it should not cave into the inside. That's stress on the knee. The knee only works in one direction, like this. It doesn't go out here or in there. And we can move it past 90, but we don't want to have weight on it that way. Even when we squat, if you can squat, you don't want to squat like this. Incorrect. This is correct. You know why? Except my neck. Need to fix that. Questions, thoughts, comments. Dibouhua. Let me try just the different angles in the light. Punch. My front leg isn't really changing. My rear leg, almost like this. See how my leg turning when we do this exercise?
Yes.
So, very similar. The punch, I'm folding this in, folding the inside of the hip, the shekwa, really closing that, keeping the hip, knee, and foot all in one line. It just so happens to be diagonal from this one. And you can think of the knee and toe and hip as pointing at this other toe. Because of my square, I don't know if that's still showing up on the carpet. If I had a square, the corner of that diagonal, so put your hip, knee, and toe on the line that way. And
That is super helpful. Thank you.
yeah, cool. So and by the way, the fold knees is the power. So we keep this hand locked. So wherever my body goes, that hand goes. The other thing too is, just like we said earlier for the kicks, if you have you're recovering from injury, illness, something, or perhaps you're learning Tai Chi or getting back into fitness for the first time, something, you can practice Tai Chi very mild, pull and kick. You don't have to do these big kicks like this, right? The same with Dibu Hua. If your body's capable and you like to use the Tai Chi form to make your legs super strong, you can do the squats. But the technique, this is where we won't have application class today as a reminder. If somebody's grabbing my arm, all I need to do is get them off center by this much. Once their structure is triggered, I have access to whatever I need. So in the real world, Dibu Hua may just be that small because we just want to pull the opponent off of their root they're trying to hold on. But if it's real serious, we might Dibu Hua, pull them all the way if they're trying to hold on all the way down. So again, the most basic Lan Shui. Dibu Hua can be a partial fold if you need to recover, if you need to protect yourself in that way. It can be very small, gentle. When you meditate, practice, you don't have to sink. When you do your yoga practice, when you want to, you can punch, keep your neck straight, right? You can touch your knee to find the limit and then dial it back 1%, right? Let's continue. We're gonna run out of time. We got 3 minutes. Aaron had a question about Jinbu Zai Shui, and I think it'll be better to just address that next week. Let's close with some Qigong. Yeah. Let's do the same exercise we started with. So reach up, make a giant hot air balloon, and then like you're reaching all the way to the extent of the earth, reaching all the way up. Hot air balloon is limited. Make your circle the size of the galaxy. I had one teacher named Gene, and sometimes at the end of class, Qigong, he would say something very profound. He would say, allow yourself to experience new feelings. And that's pretty interesting because it deals with our EQ. And the thing that reminded me of it is I was just about to say, allow your mind to be free to experience actually new ideas, which is kind of an IQ variation of what Gene said. Wherever you're at, do one more. Check to see that you have a very serious expression when you return to Tai Chi Harmony. Fix the top, pull the head up, relax the face, half smile, tongue. Fix the middle, sink the tailbone, relax the inside of the hips, relax the lower back, expand. And then fix the base. Grip with the toes, pull the heel in, pull the outsides in, use the top, activate the suction cup. That was it.